It's time for the second round of group game fixtures, and we're off to Anfield for Liverpool against Sau Paulo.
A warm good evening to you here on Merseyside, as Liverpool's legends who have won there and Sau Paulo's 11 who have won these first two games, or won their first games, step out at Anfield. You never walk alone, playing there in the background, the Kop full to bursting, and what an atmosphere as these two great teams come out onto the field. They've won one game each in this tournament. Will they keep their unbeaten records going, or will one unbeaten record go tonight? Well, that is the question, and what about that for a picture? And it's the first time we've seen it in this Legends tournament that the Kop and the Liverpool scarves, there they are, all around the ground. It's a great sight to behold. Couple of changes for Liverpool, as you can see. Bruce Grobbelaar is in goal, of course, and that is a real feather, really, in Sau Paulo's cap, because they line up, of course. Their top scorer, Hernandez, is up front, and they will have a really good two wingmen in Cezinho and Muller as well that will support him. And they worked a treat in that first game. Liverpool then in the red, Sau Paulo in the red. Liverpool going from right to left, and Sau Paulo to the right, from left to right. And Chris is alongside me in the Anfield commentary box. And it's great to be back in the northwest of England, Chris, on Merseyside. And what sort of tonight?
Well, you've got the two group leaders in this game, and they'll both, essentially, a win for either of these sides will put them through to the next round, essentially. Obviously Dortmund and Ajax will be watching this game very closely, because
and there's a goal! A goal at absolutely nothing for Liverpool, but they've really deserved it, and it's Billy Liddell, the goal machine from the 50s, who's absolutely crafted that one in, and Liverpool have sent Anfield wild. The roof has come off the Kop, and Liverpool early on take the lead, and their early dominance is deserved with the opening goal of the game. Billy Liddell, the scorer.
Well, I was just saying that Sau Paulo and Ajax will be watching this game and hoping there's not a draw, and obviously Liddell's heard straight away, oh, you don't want a draw? Let me just go and score an absolute banger. I mean, look at this for a finish. On the volley as well, that is frighteningly brilliant.
Well, it's a great goal to lift the Kop's spirits, that's for sure, right in front of the Kop as well. What a lovely goal from Liverpool. 1-0 they lead. And really, Sau Paulo, who battled back well to beat Dortmund in that first match in Brazil, well, it's going to be a culture shock now. It's a lot cooler, and also they're in a different sort of climate as well. They're in Europe, so they might have it difficult now, considering what Dortmund had to put up with in their first game. And Dortmund are at home in their next match, of course, which is tomorrow night, and that's another game you can see with us. Meanwhile, Keegan on the chase, and it's all Liverpool here in this first opening exchanges of the first half. Gerrard might have a go. Gerrard! Oh! I tell you what, Chris, they are shooting from about 30-40 yards out, Liverpool, and almost on each occasion, almost hitting the target. Steven Gerrard, who can hit them, Chris, well, he almost hit a perler.
Almost. That'll be his sighter, I imagine.
Well, you've got to agree, Sau Paulo are under immense pressure. Already 1-0 down, and Liverpool have got them at this moment in time anyway, by the throat, it looks like to me. But here's Junior. Cezinho loses out, and Jan Molby gets it up, and now look at Liverpool now breaking again in almost classic fashion. Couldn't find Dalglish that time, it did deflect. So it will be a Liverpool throw. 0-0 to take. Well, when you go to Anfield as an away team, you are stepping into the Lions' Den here at Anfield. When the place is buzzing and the fans are right behind Liverpool, you know that you're going to be for one hell of a 90 minutes. Leandres, who scored 2 goals in the first game, looking to be the top scorer if he scores here today for the tournament anyway. Cezinho is over on the far near side, and that's a poor effort, and that's going to go for a goal kick. And the first touch of the game for Big Brute, for the the Death as a Brush goalkeeper Bruce Grobbelaar, Zimbabwe guy from the man from Zimbabwe. Capable of the most extraordinary mistakes, but also capable of the most extraordinary saves. Lots of great comments tonight. Dalglish, Neil, Billy Little, the goal scorer, and what a goal it was too, to get things rolling. And Little, lovely dummy. He showed too much of that to Junior. Dezinho, Sastre, Sani. Well, they're keeping the ball around well, Sao Paulo, but not really penetrating or having a go at trying to penetrate the Liverpool defence. Maybe Muller will try something here. Casquinho has made a good break. Cezinho is in the penalty area. That's good tackle in there. The Liverpool defence not giving anything away. And here's Billy Little. Kenny Dalglish. Neil Dalglish. Little. Towards Keegan! Goal kick. Although the cop, I think, wanted the corner. Perez beaten by a terrific 30-yard thunderbolt by Billy Little, which is separating the two teams. But it really, if it was a boxing contest at this moment, Chris, it would be. If it was judged on boxing and it was on points, Liverpool would be miles in front, and even at this early stage.
Well, it's been mainly Liverpool. Sao Paulo have created a few isolated chances, but haven't really made anything of them. I say this.
Well, this is not isolated out of nothing. That is the equaliser, and that has silenced the Cops. Cezinho with a goal after nothing, perhaps. And Anfield is silent, and it's been all one-way traffic up until now. And big Bruce Grobbelaar beaten again. Not his fault, really. Although maybe some critics will say he's beaten at the near post, but take nothing away from Cezinho's finish. And from Liverpool's own mistake here, they've been pegged back to 1-1. There was the mistake, Chris.
Well, each time I seem to be talking, there seems to be a goal going in, so maybe I should talk a little bit more. It's a brilliant goal. Both have been far in the corners, and well, that's a rather interesting celebration. Yeah, level. Worst case scenario for Dortmund and Ajax. So they really need somebody to win this game. Obviously, these games have a little bit more importance to them because it's the second round of fixtures, and we only have 3 group games in these groups.
Dalglish ran out of pitch. Sorry, Chris, to cut you off.
That's all right.
As you were saying.
So, second round of games, obviously, they've got more importance to them. Some teams can be eliminated by this point if things go the right way. As I say, if this stays this way, if Liverpool and Sao Paulo somehow draw, and then Dortmund and Ajax draw, Dortmund and Ajax are both out. So they could really do with somebody actually winning this match, because then it blows the group open again. Indeed.
Well, it was a bit of a surprise for Liverpool to concede, considering they were in charge for most of this first half. That's already been played, and that's nearly 20 minutes worth. But Sau Paulo growing in a bit of confidence there, which is quite honouring to see for Liverpool. And the cop that was vibrant earlier is now a little bit edgy. Grobbelaar's kick. Keegan underneath that one, but he can't get any substantial touch. Highway. Keegan. Highway. Back to Keegan. And Dalglish! Kenny Dalglish! Good save! And Dalglish there, you would have backed 9 times out of 10, Chris, to bury that. Probably in the end, just took far too long.
He just couldn't get it under his spell, could he? Just didn't quite get the touch he wanted to get the shot off. But good goalkeeping nonetheless. He knew that Dalglish one-on-one, you can't give him a chance to get any kind of control in. And the keeper smothered it. So well played goalkeeper, but next time you might not be so lucky.
It's Little up towards Keegan. Keegan! Good save! Keegan denied by this goalkeeper, who's probably wearing all sorts of lucky charms underneath his goal at the moment. But that was a really good save, in all fairness to him.
Well, this is what Dalglish should have done. had he got a decent first touch in. That's Keegan showing him how it's done. But the goalkeeper, again, denying. He's doing well. He did well in the Dortmund game, to be fair, the Sao Paulo keeper, so it's not unheard of for there to be good saves made.
Yes, he made some super saves in that first game, I remember, over in Brazil. But he's up against a different animal here in Liverpool. As Dalglish sends that in. He'll come for Neil. Highway, I thought he might have had the goal. Little's had a goal and he scored it in! 2-1, the cup goes wild and Billy Little strikes again!
That's almost a carbon copy of the first one, except this time he's struck it from the ground. I think the first one was slightly better, but still, nonetheless, it's a cracking finish. Had a sighter earlier on that went in, and he's obviously thought, why not? Scored from here earlier, and it's happened again.
Let's have a look at it again in replay. Not such great defending there by Sao Paulo, Chris, was it? But Little, when he gets the shot off, my goodness, they stay hit, don't they?
They do indeed. The keeper's got absolutely no chance with that one. This one's probably the best angle. Just sets it with the first touch. Wallop. That thing was travelling. Terrific goal.
Yes, and both Little's goals are probably in contention for goal of the tournament. And getting a lot of entries for that, and I don't envy Chris alongside me having to narrow this down, and obviously we'll choose the best 10, and for you guys to judge towards the end of the tournament. But here's Keegan! Perez with the save.
We've also got to somehow judge who's going to win the Golden Boot. Now Little's on 2. We've got 11 people on 2 goals in the tournament so far.
Yes, a whopping 11 people on 2 goals, and 2 of them are on this pitch right now. Bauer, Sastra, Bauer again, round the corner. Cicinho now, can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. Sastra, Bauer to Muller, but it was intercepted. Bauer will have a throw to reload, so to speak. And a lovely ball round the corner. Cicinho is forward, Muller is forward. Can they get the ball to the area? Cicinho is in the penalty area, and Liverpool just about scrambling out. The remarkable thing about this, we've had 28 minutes of the game. Up towards Keegan. Bauer. That's a foul. Foul by Keegan. Well, the cop got happy, but it was a free kick. And 2-1 Liverpool lead. 2 goals from Billy Little. Cicinho with the response for Sao Paulo. The equaliser sandwiched in between those 2 thunderbolts from Little. Dalglish. Here's Keegan! Oh, another beauty! Kevin Keegan scores again! And that's his 2nd goal in the competition, and now a whopping 12 players are top scorers in this competition, because Keegan has backed his 2nd of the tournament, and in this game, Liverpool's 3rd. Kevin Keegan with a superb finish, Chris, and it's looking very, very, very much a long rail back for Sao Paulo now. It is a brilliant finish from Keegan. Dalglish and Keegan have been linking up very well so far in this game. They've been doing pretty well in the tournament, to be fair. That's what a finish that was. Well, obviously they never played together because Dalglish replaced Keegan, I believe. I think it was that way round. And yeah, imagine if they had played together in reality. How many more trophies would Liverpool have won? It doesn't bear thinking about, but 3-1 they lead, and they have a great dominance on this game. As Sonny goes forward, but Steven Gerrard nicking it away now, and Liverpool now playing with a real confidence and swagger. Dalglish to Keegan. Dalglish making a run through the middle. If Keegan can get his head up, just couldn't in the end. But that was a typical Keegan goal. The way he just followed it in, but a lovely ball, as Chris said, to Kenny Dalglish. And here he is again, Keegan! Oh my goodness! He is now outright the top scorer in the tournament. 2 goals in as many minutes for Kevin Keegan. And Liverpool running riot here in its first half. And Sao Paulo, quite simply, Chris, do not know what day it is. Keegan makes it 4-1. He's 2nd of the match. and he's now top scorer for the tournament. 4-1 Liverpool lead. What a performance this is from Liverpool.
It's fantastic. Dalglish again with the perfect ball through. They've really got the chemistry going now, and another terrific finish. Sao Paulo, they need to be careful here. As much as they've already got 3 points, they want to be worrying about their goal difference, because it's looking like that they're not going to get the result here, and goal difference could be decisive in who goes through to the next round.
Yes, 6 goals now conceded by Sao Paulo, if you include the 2 they conceded against Dortmund in Brazil. This was always going to be a tough test for them, because it's at Anfield and they're in a different continent and in a different climate. But it was a day for Dortmund when they went down there, and they adapted much better than what Sao Paulo did here tonight. And of course, with Dortmund and Ajax facing off in Dortmund tomorrow night, where we'll be in situ in that particular stadium, I think the group is going to be more interesting now. But Liverpool deservedly leading, and the problem for Sao Paulo is they've still got another sort of 15 odd minutes to endure this barrage. Here's Dalglish. Was going wide anyway, but Perez was able to carry it in. He's had no chance on any of the 4 goals, by the way. And it's just been one-way traffic. Apart from the goal that they struck back, it's all been Liverpool. Keegan. Not a good ball by Keegan, but ball back to Perez. And now Pereira. And now it's got to be all-out defence really from Sao Paulo to limit the damage, because Liverpool here, the move they're in tonight, they're capable of scoring 6 or maybe 7 here. And that is worrying for Sao Paulo, but not so for the Liverpool fans who have watched their team put on a great attacking performance. And we've only had 40 minutes of it. High ball there to be won. Kept in by Bauer, finding Muller. Now what can Sao Paulo do? Can he get one back here? No, not with that. Pereira. Sani. Junior. Now a chase on for Cezinho, if he can keep that in. And he can. Sastri. Playing it in. Leandres. Straight to Grobbelaar though. By a deflection. Well, we've had 43 minutes gone, and really Sao Paulo have just been hit, not just for 6 but for 12 really, because Liverpool have just been so swift on the break, and every time they've attacked they've looked like scoring. But Leandres now, who's got 2 goals to his total, and as the shot comes in, deflected, no problems again for Bruce Grobbelaar. 2 added minutes. We'll get Chris's thoughts on the first half as soon as the half-time whistle goes, on what's been a magnificent attacking performance by Liverpool in this first half. 2 added minutes and we're now halfway through them. Muller. Leandres again. Coutinho, good try, and that's probably the best chance they've created apart from the goal. And Coutinho just couldn't finish it off, and that has been the theme of the game. Lovely move there. And the right foot hits the side netting. No worries for Bruce Grobbelaar on that department. 10 seconds to go till the half-time cup of tea, which will be very welcome for the Brazilians, I have to say. And they'll have a 15-minute respite from what's been an Anfield nightmare for them. But it's been an Anfield dream for Liverpool. Great attacking display. 2 goals each for Billy Liddell and for Kevin Keegan. All fantastically well-worked goals. Cezinho with the response for Sao Paulo that made it 1-1. But in fairness, Liverpool have absolutely played Sao Paulo off the park, even though the statistics do flatter a little bit. But Chris, sum up the first half. What an unbelievable attacking display by Liverpool, who now go into half-time 4-1 up.
Yeah, it's been terrific from Liverpool. They've been ruthless, solid at the back, clinical in front of goal. They've just played brilliantly. I don't really know how. The only way they could have done better is if they hadn't conceded, but nobody's perfect. And Yeah, the statistics flatter a little bit, but it does kind of show Sao Paulo, you know, the scoreline suggests that they've been completely hopeless, but they've created a few chances. As we saw in the Dortmund game previously, they are capable of scoring goals. Obviously, Leonardo's has got himself 2 goals, so Sao Paulo haven't really got anything to lose in the second half. They're not expected to get a result now, you know, especially being 4-1 down. So, you know, Liverpool putting themselves in a very good position in the group, and Dortmund and Ajax will be happy with how things are going. So, it's a big game in terms of the context for everyone else. But if Sao Paulo can find 3 goals somewhere, that could really throw a spanner in the works for Ajax and Dortmund. But for the moment, it doesn't look that way.
Well, it looks as if Liverpool, as we come out for the second half, will probably start as they mean to go on. Sao Paulo will get underway. They attack the cop end in the white shirts. But for Liverpool, they'll go towards the Anfield Road end. 4 goals to 1 up, but they've conceded a free kick here. And this looks a very promising position for the Brazilian side. A little bit harsh maybe on Steven Gerrard for the foul on Sestra. Now Sani with the free kick. Loved it in right footed towards Tardelli, who's come on as a substitute, by the way. Here's Keegan. Highway. Now another good ball from Stevie Highway. Keegan's won it back well. Dalglish is in the centre, or Gerrard rather was in the centre. Sastra. Tardelli, the substitute. Sastra again. And Coutinho can't keep that in. And here's with the Liverpool throw. Jan Molby, the Danish man. Again, a long ball forward there for Dalglish to get on the end of, and him and Keegan have been superb. Dalglish with the assists, and Keegan with the lovely finishes as well, to add to those 2 long-range blasters from Billy Liddell, of course. Zizinho, who scored the solitary try for Sao Paulo. Leandres. And back to Bruce Grobbelaar once again. 5 minutes into the second half. It's just been a little quiet as well as far as the second half is concerned. Chris, pace just dropped a little bit, maybe.
Yes, goodness me, the tackles are flying in, that's for sure.
Yes, the tackles are flying in.
It's reasonably quiet, but might be a chance here from a corner.
Yes, it's going to be taken by Stevie Gerrard into the Anfield Road. Right in on the far post. Neil tries the shot, deflected and in. 5 for Liverpool. It might actually have been a own goal, and it looks that way. Looking out, it's the man that's going to be debited with the own goal. Phil Neal's shot takes a deflection off the Sao Paulo number 15, and suddenly for the Brazilians it ricochets into the back of the net.
It's really unlucky really for Sao Paulo. See if that's going on target or not. Well, it might be going wide of the other post, but that might be why it's been being credited as an own goal. But Phil Neal, good shot, but the defence, did their job, get in the way, but it's just unlucky. Liverpool have been playing so well, they're going to get that luck as well, aren't they?
Yeah, and it also means, for unfortunate means, the goal difference again takes another blow for Sao Paulo. The one player went tumbling for them in the penalty area just then. But look at Liverpool on the counter now. 2 against 2. Keegan to Dalglish, or Dalglish to Keegan, I should say. Back to Kenny Dalglish, who's deserved the goal himself, but he's been unselfish. Set the ball back up, and there goes Steven Gerrard to make it 6. Well, it had to be the captain, didn't it? And the Liverpool goals, apart from the 5th one, have been well worked, really well constructed goals. Keegan doing well. Dalglish could have easily had the shot himself, but he was unselfish to play it to Steven Gerrard. Good bit of skill, and the finish was excellent.
Well, Dalglish, I think his pass actually got a bit of a deflection, but nonetheless it's landed at the feet of Steven Gerrard. And well, Dalglish has been the playmaker today, hasn't he? He's I don't know if that'll officially class as an assist, but essentially he's set up 3 goals today. Terrific performance from him, and a fantastic goal by Steven Gerrard.
Yes, and incidentally, that's his first goal in the tournament. So Little with 2, Keegan with 2, an own goal, and Steven Gerrard. And Liverpool running wide here, and there's still 35 minutes left to play. Bruce Grobel are in control of the situation. And Liverpool now looking surefire now, showing now in the last 8 without any trouble at all. Dalglish now could be in for 7. Keegan for the hat-trick, well blocked.
Again, Dalglish just finding that pass. It's just, his vision today has been incredible.
Indeed, but here comes Sau Paulo looking to get one back. Cicinho chipping that in. Leandres is forward, but nothing getting past Messrs Hughes and Hansen. And Dalglish again. My word, when Liverpool get on the break, they are such a menacing proposition for the opposition. If you travel to Anfield for a game here as an away side, you know you're in for one heck of a tough old afternoon, or a tough old evening in this case. And the Brazilian side have had it's just about as tough as it really has got. Tardelli. Oh, nice ball. Can Dalglish get on the end of it? Not this time. And number 7 significantly hasn't scored yet in this game, which is quite remarkable, really. Dalglish is on the shoulder again of that last defender. Gerald now bursting through in the middle. Dalglish. Action on the ball, and Wigiao gets it away. He was the guy who got the own goal. Neil Shot incidentally was going a mile wide before it hit the poor number 15 and went in the net. Well, it's the first real one-sided game we've seen in the tournament, and poor old Sau Paulo just haven't known what day it was. But let's purr at this Liverpool performance, because they've been extraordinarily brilliant, and they've sent a real message out, Chris, I'm sure now, to all the other contenders that we're not in this not to not win this game, and they've got the team spirit to go with it. Liverpool, they are the complete side so far.
Well, this is the most convincing performance, I think, in the entire tournament. Perhaps better than the Bayern Munich one that we saw in the first round of matches, but they've been terrific so far. And Keegan
out for the hat-trick, and he almost got there. Flag was up, yes. Well called, Chris.
Wow,
not much in it.
Very tight call, but he missed the target anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, apart from Bayern Munich's performance the other week, or a few days ago, this has been very, very dominant.
Yes, and Sastry has been replaced by Greason, and Beardsley has replaced Gerrard. Oscar's replaced Cicinho. So a flurry of substitutions. Sau Paulo now have made all 3. Tardelli, Oscar, Gerson, all the substitutes there, as you can see, combining. Gerson, poor chest control.
Such a shame. It's great build-up play.
It was a lovely build-up play, as you say, Chris, but the first touch was a poor one. And that summed up Sau Paulo's night, really. The luck hasn't been with them. When Liverpool are on the roll, they're going to use every bit of luck that's going, and they've really used it to the full, but they've played some terrific stuff tonight, and that you can't deny. And even Sau Paulo would have to sit back and say they've been the better side as Leandres goes forward. Still looking for his 3rd goal in the tournament, which would join level at the top of the chart with Keegan. He now has 3 goals to his total. Sonny. Dalglish just sticking close to him like super glue, if you like, and he's not giving that Sau Paulo defence a minute's peace. He's pestered them and pestered them. Keegan and Little have really taken it around him. But here's Junior, away from Neil. Cicinho. Sonny might try the shot, but Beardsley away. Dalglish. Oh, lovely ball. Beardsley, it's his 7. I think a penalty's been given. And a yellow card for Junior.
I think it's a free kick, actually, to Dalglish. He got fouled on the pass through, I think.
I thought a penalty had been given. No, you're right, actually, Chris. I was getting a little bit carried away. And you've done me out of a hole there, co-commentator. There's Yolby playing that in. Oh, a little bit of Harry Carey at the back as Callaghan comes on for Steve Highway. Junior. Until that yellow card, it was a totally clean game. And the effort goes over the top. Junior with the effort. And he's furious with himself. He couldn't keep that effort down. You can see what he makes of that one. But really now, Dortmund or Ajax now, whichever two teams triumph tomorrow, well, we rubbing their hands now with glee. Because the thing is now, if Dortmund were to win or Ajax were to win,
well, even then,
like,
whoever loses that match has a chance based on the goal difference so far. I don't know what Sao Paulo's goal difference is, but it will be deep in the minus after this.
I think it's at -6 at the moment because they conceded 2 in the first game.
Well, they will have had +1 after beating Dortmund by 3 goals to 2, so they'll be on -5.
Yes, -5 now, the goal difference. It could get even worse for them. Liverpool have just not given that defence for a moment's peace. Neil. And Leandres is onside, and he scored. So a little bit of consolation for Sao Paulo, and Leandres gets his 3rd goal of the competition. Draws over with Keegan, but it's not going to be enough really to drag themselves out of this quagmire. 6-2 Liverpool lead.
It does help though in terms of the goal difference, in terms of the 3rd match. You know, like I said, they don't want to have too bad a goal difference because depending on how Ajax and Dortmund get on, it could be crucial. Plus, putting yourself joint top of the goal scoring list isn't too bad for Leonardis either. Indeed.
And he's done it right in front of the cop too. Which is exactly what Keegan did in the first half. Benedetto. Keegan. I thought he was fouled there from behind, but the referee wasn't interested. It has been a slow burn in the second half compared to the whistle stop football Liverpool were playing in the first half, where we're totally taking the opposition to the cleaners. Now Hippier. It's a good long ball by the substitute. Keegan is there. Goes down a little bit theatrically there and went down in instalments, but the referee was never going to buy that. Middle. Hansen. Beardsley. Good long ball forward, but cut out once again. 6 minutes to play, Chris. And I think at this stage of this game, I think it's about time I ask you for man in the match.
It's a no-brainer, really. Kenny Dalglish. He's as much as Kevin Keegan has put the ball in the back of the net twice. If it wasn't for Dalglish, he wouldn't be in that position. And well, obviously Gerrard also getting a goal off Dalglish's handiwork. So he's been the architect for Liverpool's success this match, and deservedly man of the match in my eyes.
Yeah, only thing that's lacked from Dalglish's performance is a goal, but that doesn't matter. That he's been voted Chris's man in the match, and here is the man in the match on the ball now. He's had a marvellous game. So too is Billy Little and Kevin Keegan and Stevie Gerrard, and certainly in the second half. We'd love to see Dalglish get one, but I don't think it's going to be the case. But what a performance.
Yeah, another thing
And
I'd
he
like to
hasn't-
mention about Dalglish, he's also pestered the opposition defence whenever they've been on the
He
ball.
has.
So he's done it all tonight, Dalglish.
Yep, and there's still 3 minutes for the scoreline to change significantly. Well, not too significantly, because we know where the points are going to be going, and we're staying rather in this case. We're staying right here at this wonderful Anfield ground. Oscar. It's just it's just a second. Just playing Sao Paulo. It's been a miserable evening for them, by the fact they've scored 2 goals. It's been an absolute nightmare in all of it. Just 20 more seconds and then misery will be complete. Cizinho. Tardelli. Good save, Grobbelaar.
Could be a big save for the result of the group. You never know.
Yep. Liverpool a little sloppy there in defence. But even though Bruce Grobbelaar has been beaten twice, he's not made any mistakes. He's not put a foot wrong. He's played well, Grobbelaar. So I'd only hit that strongly, but a good save. One last chance for Sao Paulo to add a bit more respectability, maybe, to the scoreline. And now 17 seconds over the 3 minutes. And the ball not back in there, and the header wide, and there goes the whistle. And apart from that little rally at the end, it was one-way traffic throughout. Liverpool deservedly winning out 6-2 winners. 2 goals each for Billy Liddell and Kevin Keegan. An own goal made it 5 from Phil Nils. Gerrard made it 6. Leandres and Cizinho the response. But Kenny Dalglish, Chris, the real hero, really, and quite rightly man of the match. And really, it was a marvellous display from Liverpool, whose goals won it in the first half.
Yeah, from start to finish, Liverpool was superb. They started with a bang. It's kind of a trait of Liverpool of recent years. First 20 minutes of games, they'd be absolutely relentless in attacking, and well, Liverpool didn't let up in the first half at all. Did all the damage in the first half. Second half, they were a little bit more conservative, played a bit defensive. We're just sort of going through the motions in the second half, but still creating chances and scoring a few goals. Sao Paulo, their brilliant performance against Dortmund. They were just up against a much better team on the day, and as we've seen, Liverpool, they are, I think, one of the strong favourites for this tournament. And aside from Bayern Munich's performance against Juventus, this was probably the most convincing display of the tournament so far, and I think Liverpool will take a lot of confidence. They're more or less safely through to the next round, depending on how results go, but I think 6 points. Obviously, yeah, I think they are through, actually. Unless they lose the last game by a ridiculous amount, they shouldn't. Well, actually, they are through, I think. Come to think of it, doing the maths in my head. There's that.
Also, they've scored 10 goals, so they've got a +6 goal difference.
They've scored 10 goals, and obviously Sao Paulo, and yeah, so they are through, because Sao Paulo and Dortmund have played each other. So, provided Liverpool don't lose their last game by a stupid amount, they are through, because Sao Paulo will have to play Ajax, and Dortmund will have to play Liverpool. But Dortmund and Ajax are going to play each other first. So it's not all doom and gloom for Sao Paulo. Obviously, depending on how the Dortmund Ajax game goes, if their Ajax and Dortmund draw, then they're still in the driving seat for second place. So it's not all doom and gloom. Obviously, they got 2 goals, which means that their goal difference wasn't quite as badly hit as it could have been. Could have been a hell of a lot worse for them. Let's be honest. But they'll come away. They could have played a bit better, yes, but they've ultimately come up against the best team in the group, and one of the best teams in the tournament. So don't be too disheartened in Sao Paulo, but in terms of a Liverpool perspective, I don't think they could have played much better.
Well, indeed, and they were going through the motions towards the end as well. It was just a marvellous performance from Liverpool. The best display I've seen from from a team from a tournament that's been so dominant. Yes, as Chris said, the Bayern Munich performance was brilliant, and we thank Chris as well for his insight and analysis tonight. But Liverpool as good as through because they were just simply too good for the Brazilian Sao Paulo side. They were just too good. Although Sao Paulo got 2 goals, Liverpool were just so menacing. And as Chris said, never stopped pestering. And they were just unstoppable. And Dalglish, quite rightly, man of the match. But what he does do, it gives Dortmund and Ajax hope. And they, funnily enough, face off tomorrow night. And we'll be flying out to Dortmund for that one, myself and Chris, to the Stade Inguna Park in Dortmund, which is another iconic ground. So we'll be there in Dortmund tomorrow night for your viewing pleasure. But we'll leave you tonight with Liverpool's performance. They were just too hot for the Brazilian side, Sao Paulo. We won't be too disheartened by the defeat because there's no disgrace in losing away from home at Anfield. But Liverpool look real contenders to win this knockout competition. From Chris and myself, from Anfield, till tomorrow, it's good night.